And then there were four. Welcome to NASCAR Inside the Race Bracket Edition, brought to you by our friends at DraftKings, the Inside the Race tournament. Started with 32, and we are down to just four drivers left. Ty Dillon, John Hunter Nemechek, Tyler Reddick, and Ty Gibbs are the final four, racing for $1 million. The round of four this weekend at Dover. To break it all down, let me invite in my friends that are here each and every week. I have my buddy Mamba Smith from the BR, TNT, True TV, and my man Russell from Racing Insights. Mamba, the upset continues. Ty Dillon, the 32 seed, eliminates another. He is like the I mean, I don't even want to give him a nickname at this point. He's leading into it. He's fun to watch, and he continues to advance.
Tyrone, the bracket buster. Dude, it's been great. I mean, like, and him and Alex, especially this one, like Alex was so cool about the whole thing, even from the jump. Like I interviewed him pre-race, he interviewed both of them pre-race, and Alex was like, yeah, I just want to know what the one-liner is gonna be. You know what I mean? And Ty roughed him up, but like they understand it's for $1 million. It's for $1 million freaking bucks. Like, and he didn't wreck him. He just moved him, Russ. You know what I mean?
think that's fair. I think that's acceptable. Russ, you okay with the move?
Oh, I love the move. I think it was totally fair. He didn't wreck him. He did it in the last corner. It was perfect. Timed it out perfectly.
And I want to applaud Bowman because he goes over to him after the race. And Bowman, he's not all, hey, congratulations. But he's like, man, I get it. I understand. Like, no harm, no foul. This is a guy, Bowman's won some career races, right? He understands. Ty Dillon has even told a few people this is like become a highlight of his career, being able to advance to this bracket. So great for Ty for pulling it off. So that's what it looked like for the 32 seed. He has advanced forward, and he is now matched up with John Hunter. This was the Battle of Legacy Motor Club. Someone had to win it.
This is the best case scenario for this group, right? Because you go in, and no matter what, I mean, obviously they would want to run better, but they kind of were winning when they got there because they knew that one of their cars were going to move through. They just announced a big extension with Dollar Tree, so a bunch of their people were out. So it's happy days for them. They got a shot at $1 million, and it really adds to their season, right? They're on the cusp, like position-wise and points to making the playoffs. You probably got to win. So if they don't win, we're gonna look to be top 20 in points and maybe win this first ever bracket challenge. So that's a good year, I think.
Yeah, and Nemechek is on a roll here lately, so I think that's the better one for them to come out of this.
That's the story that's getting almost lost in the bracket. Is John Hunter has run very well to move himself up through the bracket, right? I mean, and really that's the key. All right, let's keep going on. Ty Gibbs, Zane Smith. I feel like this one, Zane made it interesting. Great qualifying effort, but it just won there. Dropped the green flag, lost positions, and Ty does what we expect now at the Ty of the Road courses. Just had a great run.
But wasn't Zane beating him in the last stage until he like got off track right there? Is that not true?
Well, yeah, there's a crossover right here.
No. Okay, so with like a couple to go, keep rolling over, D-Lo. Yeah.
What lap was that pit stop? That was the big difference maker, right? Is the 54 pitted for tires, and Zane stayed out, which, by the way, how many positions are they split? My screen's too small. How many are they split before the pit stop?
17, and they're 9th, so there are 8 spots different.
Okay, so I love that Zane Smith does the opposite. Following the 54 down pit road, it could turn out different, but that's a low probability wager. They say, you know what? The hell with it. If he's coming, we're staying out. And it almost worked, except for Zane got spun around there, and that was kind of the end of it, or shipped off track, or a little bit of both.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, I think Zane had it, right? Like, I mean, I don't think Ty's catching Zane at that point with all the madness that happened. That's racing. But they put in a great effort. They can't be mad about that at all.
I mean, look at this right here. Look how much it switched. It was Ty Gibbs all day until the pit call flipped it. And then it was all Zane Smith until, wasn't he involved in the big wreck?
A little bit.
Yeah. He went from 7th to 27th on old tires. And that's the problem is once one guy gets by you, they kind of spit you out of line and back you go.
Steve, is that the strategy to come down pit road? Was that a winning strategy? Like,
So
you know what I mean? Were they going for the win there? Because they would have just stayed out, right? You would think if it was for the.
So listen, if I'm the 19 and I heard James Small say I didn't want to get back in the mess and he wanted to have a good day, so I think the strategy to finish good was to stay out. The strategy to win was to pit because you weren't going to beat SVG heads up. It just wasn't going to happen. Right. That's why I didn't love what the 19 did. I would have pitted, but I loved that when interviewing James Small told me why he did it. And I'm like, you know what? Good for you. You know, he's like, hey, we had such a great day going. Let's keep the momentum going. Getting wrecked with some gamble wasn't what he thought was the right move. But I also love to Chase Elliott coming to get tires. I like the 54 coming to get tires. Like, I think these guys went out there, you know. Now for Gibbs, I guess it's a must win. Would you say it's a must win, Russ? Gibbs isn't pointing himself in.
Yeah, at this point, it's a must win for him.
So that's why you come get tires, because you're not going to beat SVG heads up, or we didn't see anything that you would.
The funny thing is leaving Briscoe out there, right? They actually were doing each other up the hill, and that we know SVG, he is not gonna roll over. So, like, honestly, the good launch for Briscoe was close to becoming catastrophic for their finish anyway, because SVG's not giving up. He's like a bulldog with a bone. He ain't giving that thing up just because you're here now. You know what I mean?
Totally agree. And then the final matchup that got decided out west was Ryan Preece and Reddick. This was not as lopsided as you thought it would have been, but then wasn't it the 60 that finally got contacted with the 4 there? And that kind of took the wind out of the sails. That was the end of it. Pretty fair.
Yeah. They were racing. They were like nose to tail, and they were coming through where was it 7 there where Norris spun, and they basically split. Like, that was the decision. That was the difference. The 45 went right, the 60 went left, and the 4 ended up going left and hit Preece, and then it knocked his toe out. So at that point, he was kind of cooked.
Well, I want to look ahead because we got some great brackets to do it. But Mamba, you were lucky enough to catch up with Tyler Reddick earlier in the day. So he joined Mamba. Let's check out that interview.
Tyler Reddick, what's going on, brother? How is your afternoon going? Thank you for joining us on the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been good. This is the kind of the first week in a few where not traveling early out to the race. So, yeah, enjoying the extra time to prepare, and then hopefully get a little extra time at home too before the race weekend. Listen,
Sonoma was pretty wild. I mean, you boys were getting after it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously SVG was see adios in a different zip code, but the racing that was going on was amazing. You were right in the thick of it, and you were able to move on in the bracket. So you have still got a shot at $1 million.
Yeah, it was not looking good most of the day, to be honest. I know Ryan has been running really well on the road courses since moving over to RFK Racing. So I knew it was I think it was flying under the radar a bit for a lot of the folks that I talked to about it. Even some of the guys on my team are like, oh yeah, you're matched up against Preece. This should be a walk in the park. I'm like, man, I don't know, not so fast. He's been very solid. And so, yeah, we pretty early on found each other basically on track in close proximity. He was a little better than we were. I believe in stage 1, I was around him a bit, but stage 2, he got by us and charged forward a bit. And in stage 3, they pitted early. They short pitted a bit on the final stop. They're making incredible time on those new tires, so it kind of forced our hand to pit a couple laps after. And we were behind him. We were behind him there for a bit. Yeah, you can see it right there. Yeah, he short pit. He was making up so much ground.
You're the red one, Tyler. Yeah. Preece is the blue line, so you can.
Yeah, he was making up so much ground. It kind of forced our hand. We were going to run longer than that to try and catch back up to him. And as you could kind of see, we were going back through the field pretty evenly, but I wasn't closing in on any positions really to get closer to him. So, that caution at the end really kind of threw it all for a loop. I believe. Honestly, I can't remember if we both pit or not when that caution came out. I think it's possible that we did.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Perfect.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Delo's got it teed up. My boy's got it locked in.
I know. Yeah, I thought he pit.
Yep.
Yep, he did.
He's the orange one, and you came down like 2 cars later.
Yeah, we did all pit there, and obviously the big role in all this is the restart that followed, the 7 booting the 4 and then causing that big
Listen,
override.
we got that. All right, so walk me through how you get through this. Like your thought process.
Well, it gets a little checked up, and I honestly felt like Ryan was going to leave a little bit of room, so I'm like, all right, I'll be aggressive and get down underneath. And a little bit before that, if you can back it up to about the time I see the 4 spin, even further forward, honestly, we get about almost there. Right here, I see the 4 spinning.
Yep.
And I have a split second to decide, all right, is he going to spin to the inside? Is he going to go back across the track? What's going to happen here? Because I was, you're going to have to check up if he's in your lane and, go ahead a frame or two. And I think it was right here. I still didn't know where he was going to go.
I'm still lost about what's going on here.
Yeah, I have no idea where he's going to go. And right there when the tail flips around so fast, I'm like, all right, here we go. I got to hit the gas because he's now going to be going to my driver's left. Honestly, didn't even really have time to think or see. I don't even know who it was that spun on the other side.
I think that was the 42 or the 43, maybe 43. It was 43. It was Eric Jones.
Yeah. When the 4 goes that way and the 42 goes that way, it creates this hole for me, and we pass like 7 or 8 cars. It was absolute chaos.
So when you get through there, right? Because that's the pivotal moment. You get through, the 60 gets through, but gets some damage. But now you're probably a few, spots in front. And then also Priest was like, his toe was knocked out. Like he was talking to his guys, like we're in trouble. You were mentioning that you guys were paying attention to that. So how much? I guess at the end of the race, you were paying attention maybe to the bracket a little bit more because you guys were already back in the field. So like to get back to the front was going to be hard anyway. So was that your second? Your second objective was to beat the 60.
Yeah, I'd say when that whole scenario that we just watched played out and we got ahead of him, I was like, all right, cool. I feel like in some ways we can check that box. If I do my part and keep passing cars on old tires, we should stay ahead of him. I didn't honestly know he had damage until the race was over. But from that point on, I thought when we got into 8A, the caution had already come out because everybody in front of me, it felt like I was getting ready to run them over. And I don't think the caution came out until we were basically in turn 9. So that got me all excited because everyone around me was still going and I closed the gap that quick to the cars ahead. So my mind quickly shifted from, okay, we got by the 60 to now it seems like with, the adjustments that we made on the last pit stop, that our car was firing off a lot better than it had all day on restarts. So my mindset shifted to, okay, let's go get some more cars.
So this right here, this is up through like start finish, turn 1, turn 2. I talked to some of the guys and they said up here at turn 2, it was so bumpy. And there was not a whole lot of lateral grip. Yeah, right through there. Dilo, run that back up through there. Tyler, between last year to this year, what was the biggest difference for you?
I mean, it's those patches they put in. The first one in turn 1 is not too bad, but turn 2 here, for whatever reason, as that patch was settling, just how you worked that curb with your right side tires, your left side tires were going through a bigger portion of some of those dips in the racetrack. And that combined with just the nature of turn 2, it was really setting off a lot of cars. People were getting loose. There was a lot of dirt on the track as well. So all those things were really putting in a difficult spot. I believe it was this restart here was a bad one for us. We were behind the 21. I was kind of hoping he was going to have a better launch, better be ahead of another, I guess, the left side row cars. So we did lose 2. I believe we lost like 2 spots on this restart. Thankfully, the next one.
This corner right here, I feel like 10 is deceiving because
it
feel
is.
Like you should be able to carry speed through there, but it's almost, is it off camber? Because it feels like it looks like you guys are just getting pushed out into the grass so far.
Man, I just think we carry so much speed and we kind of come into, can't come in off turn 9, kind of a weird angle. It feels like you have all the room to enter and set this corner up as you want, but it's a super narrow entry. just by how we come out of turn 9. So I just think a lot of us are aggressive in, and a lot of us, we're running out of room on corner exit. I've done it a lot there over the years, but this time first time probably ever I've done Sonoma and kept it on track.
Well, good for you, Tyler. Baby steps, By the time you're done at Sonoma, you'll have it.
You know what happens next year, right?
Yeah. We won't talk about that. We won't put that out in the ether. So let's talk.
I remember looking in my camera and seeing it. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. All right, well, I have a gap now. Those two took care of themselves, so I have a nice gap to everyone behind me, so I can work on.
I don't need to push as hard. Let's look at your matchup here with Ty Gibbs. So it's the Monster Energy car versus the Beast Unleashed car.
Monster Brewing.
Yeah, it's the Monster Brewing round, right? I mean, you got the 45 against the 54. I mean, the cars probably will look, I don't know what your paint schemes are this weekend, but they'll probably look very similar. I think it's all kind of funny and lining up. So the way that this works, green is good, red is bad. You look at your next gen era since 2022. You guys have basically raced a little over 100 times. Tyler, you got the advantage, 65-42. This season, a little tighter though. You got 12 to Gibbs' 8 on your head-to-heads. On concrete tracks though, Ty has you by 2 races, and then Dover, you guys are 1-1. So when you look at that, what does that make you think when you look at the numbers? Do you have a lot of confidence this week? Are you like, man, we're gonna be in a dogfight all afternoon? What do you kind of think looking into it?
Yeah, I really do think I could be totally wrong on this, but my gut tells me that we're going to be racing around each other all day long. That's just how I feel about it. Yes, you can certainly see there. I'm glad it's listed there, the concrete tracks. I felt like Ty's been, over the course of the years that we've that he's been in the Cup Series, along with me, I feel like when he goes to concrete tracks, he does perform a little better than we typically do on a consistent basis over the years. But yeah, we're 1-1 at Dover, it seems like. And I believe last year he ran 11th and I ran 12th. And I remember racing around him a lot throughout the day. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be one of those deals. We're going to be around each other a lot. I would imagine we're going to be racing each other hard a lot throughout the race too. Because yeah, when you look at the other side of the bracket, with Ty Dillon and John Hunter Nemechek, and we're going to Indy after this, a place where, the Toyotas have been extremely strong. Yeah, you would think that whoever can survive the right side of the bracket is going to have a really good shot against whoever comes out of the left at Indy.
Listen, there's no doubt that there will be a true favorite and a true underdog in the first ever in-season challenge. I love it. I love, Ty's been on this run. He's not obviously knocked out one of your owners and Denny in round 1, which was like the upset, but then he somehow kept being able to go along. And honestly, you came out of one of what we dubbed was the hardest portions of the bracket, just with all the caliber drivers and teams over there. So it's been really fun. Like for you, before I let you go, how has the first season of the in-season challenge been? Like, have you embraced it? Is it like, man, this is actually like really, really fun?
Last year, it was more for bragging rights when Denny was doing his version of it. Last year, we were able to win that one as well. So yeah, coming into this, you could play out 1,000 different ways, but coming into it, knowing that we were able to do it once, we did it last year. I got the license plate cover to go with it. This time around, $1 million, I can buy a lot of license plate covers with that. So, yeah, it's been fun. It's at times been stressful. I mean, on Sunday, I'm spending most of the race watching the 60 get smaller and smaller out the front of my windshield. It adds a stress level knowing time's running out. So, I think we certainly will be feeling the pressure of it. I'd say from the time that practice is over and we're getting ready for qualifying, it'll certainly be on our minds throughout the race. And I don't know if it'll be something we go to the extent of, strategy in the middle of the race to try and best the other. But I would imagine, if we're racing around each other all day long, it's going to be a good battle.
Tyler, there is You got to beat 2 cars. You got to beat 2 cars. That's the difference between you buying a lot of license plate covers or not. So good luck to you. We appreciate your time on the show, and looking forward to seeing how Dover unfolds.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you.
My man Mamba, A+ work with the interview. I didn't get to see the T-shirt as much in this triple box, but I like the Tim Richmond flex. That's a pretty good flex as well. There's a little bit I want to unpack there. I want to look ahead to Dover, but first of all, his play-by-play on the wreck. Russell, I like the play-by-play that he saw the 4 wrecking and then which way it was going to go. That was some good insight.
A+. He can do better than you at that for sure.
Oh,
it was amazing.
I'll take that.
I felt like I was able to get a little bit of Russ, with the stats. Green is good, red is bad.
I heard that, Mamba. I really liked how you laid that out. That was perfect.
I was just trying to get a little bit of my 2 boys, in the interview without them being there. You know what I mean?
And then my man said, first of all, I knew that Denny had the bracket idea, but I didn't know they gave out the license plate cover and somebody won it. That was new to me.
Yeah, that's new.
And then, you were like, has he embraced it? If he'd have said no, I'd have been like, well, then you have to give away your $1 million. If the answer to this is no and you win it, then you have to donate it. You can't have the $1 million. So let's start with their heads up. Let's start with them because we want to get to the bracket buster, which I like that nickname, bracket buster Ty Dillon. But let's start with, and I agree with Reddick. I think this, not only are they going to run near each other, but I think Reddick and Gibbs are going to run near each other inside the top 10 for sure, single digits. Reddick, the favorite. I got this a little closer, just maybe not quite a coin flip. Maybe those odds are right. Our friends at DraftKings have said that Tyler Reddick is the favorite. Just a reminder, if you're seeing this for the first time, -150 means you bet $1.50 for $1 in profit. If you love Ty Gibbs, you bet $1 for $1.10 in profit if you can win the matchup. Are the odds right, Mamba? Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be even. Like, it's a coin flip. I mean, Tyler hasn't had the raw speed, and off camera we did talk about that. I'm like, what do you think where it's been? He's like, we've just been grinding it out. And then on the flip side, Ty has been having the raw speed recently. So, and I think you look at that matchup and you hear how Tyler was kind of talking about it. He's like, I think we're gonna be in a dogfight for the whole race. So it should be pretty entertaining between these two.
Yeah, I agree. But I think a lot of the speed lately out of Ty Gibbs has been on road courses. So now that we're on an oval, it's a little different. And, last year, you see that 1-to-1 there at Dover. Last year, Reddick ran better than Gibbs all race, and Gibbs got him at the end. They were 10th and 11th last year. So I see that. I think this leans a little more towards Reddick than Gibbs, but I don't think the odds are too far off.
I'm taking the other side, and there's one number and one reason why. Russell, NASCAR Insights. If you've never seen them, they basically rate passing, defense, speed, restarts. But the one I'm looking at, pit crews. Dover is a mano kind of. You're not going to pit every time. That's not what I mean. But it's a slow pit road. Great pit stops pay off huge dividends. We see the restarts. Once that kind of gets settled in, you can really make some moves on pit road. And when I look at Reddick, I mean, they're a good pit crew. I don't want to knock them, but they're 11th for the year. 11th.
Okay, almost good.
That's pit crew. Gibbs ranks 4th. So if you just I think these guys are going to be qualify near each other, run near each other. So if you take the difference maker being pit road and you say Gibbs can find 3 spots better than Reddick, I think that's $1 million difference. That's where it could. And I'm telling you, this matchup could be that close. I mean, it really could. Now, listen, one penalty. Oh boy. So I think that I'm going to lean on it just from the pit crew rankings, but I'm really looking forward to this one because this is going to be more of what I consider a heavyweight battle versus the other side of the bracket, which is more of like the scrappy battle. Now, look, it pays.
It's a bar fight. It's a street fight.
Yeah, it pays just the same. But we have bracket buster Dillon going up against the hot-handed John Hunter Nemechek. I love this. I mean, that's basically a coin flip. John Hunter and Ty Dillon.
Look, man, to me, whoever comes out of this side, that's who probably most of the fans are pulling for. Honestly, just because, right? We're pulling, like, we love underdogs. Nothing against Ty and Tyler, but like what this does for either season for Ty Dillon or John Hunter Nemechek is massive. And in John Hunter Nemechek's situation, they've been good all year. Like, they've been better by like 20 spots all year. Like he's like in the top 20 in points. Like he's done a really good job. And then for Ty, no one expected Ty to be anywhere close. And look at him, just making headlines. He had better headlines than Chase Elliott winning in Georgia. I mean, come on. I mean, serious.
What I love about it is, like, it's definitely a little John Hunter Nemechek and mostly lately overall, but the concrete, it's only been once and it's 0. Have they been head to head at Dover? So there's a lot of unknown. You want to talk about advancement, and I don't want this to sound like it's criticism because it isn't. You put $1 million up, you put him in a bracket. Back to the NASCAR Insights. Ty Dillon is 33rd ranked on speed. Right? He came in the 32 seed. Yeah, here he is in the Final Four. John Hunter Nemechek, 28th on speed, yet here he is in the Final Four, right? So I think that is our point when you look at heads-up battles and how you have to do it. And we have had a very variety-filled racetracks with Atlanta and a couple road courses, and now we go to Dover. And I like it this way. I want to see this settled at Dover. Like, I really want it to get to more traditional oval. Now it's time to really, like, you've cut your teeth to get here, but now you better take a big bite of somebody if you're going to, like, try to advance.
Yeah, and I'm a numbers guy, and the numbers just don't make sense for Ty Dillon. So I'm not picking against this guy anymore.
You're just not.
And this is a good track for him too. I think he's led 28 laps here. That's the most he's ever led at a track. He's got a runner up here in Xfinity. Like, it's not like this is going to be a new track for him. So, like, this is
Mamba, you going to have a shirt for him? He told us he'd wear a shirt.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I mean, like, look,
to get a shirt, man. We got to talk to producer D'Lo or somebody over in the NASCAR world who can help us get a shirt. It basically needs, I beat your favorite driver again.
Dude, I mean, you look at this, right? I mean, Russ is right. Like, the numbers to this point really don't make any sense. And honestly, they've been on road courses for 2 of them, right? So that's really like kind of bizarre. And I just think that, I don't know, one of them it has to end for somebody. I hate it, but I love it too, man. Like, I hate to pull for either one of them, but honestly, if Ty is able to go to Indy, and I just got to believe both of these teams are putting so much effort into this race. Like, I think they're using this like as their championship race, to be honest.
I'm just getting my bracket out here to see that I somehow did get one of the championship, or one of the Final Four correct with Gibbs.
You got Reddick?
No, I had Gibbs. I didn't have
Gibbs.
Reddick. I had Gibbs. I was hot on Gibbs early.
He had Gibbs, Russ. He had Gibbs winning in Chicago, and AJ about knocked him out because I had AJ knocking him out there.
Yeah, I had Gibbs too, but I had Buescher beating him at Sonoma. So,
damn, Steve.
I like it. Well, there's the bracket. I love the colors on the window. So I love the chaos of 32, but I won't lie, guys. I really enjoyed it even more last week because there was enough matchups I could kind of keep an eye on it during the race. So I think this week is going to be even better. Here's all I hope. I just need all 4 running at the finish. I know Dover's a self-cleaning and big wrecks off turn 2. I just don't want this decided by an accident. Now, look, if they wreck themselves, that's different. That means you eliminate yourself. But, like, I don't want them getting caught up in somebody else's mess. I want Dillon and Nemechek to go toe-to-toe, Reddick and Gibbs to go toe-to-toe. I hope the stands are filled, and I hope they're cheering them on. If you're there in person, you see the colors next to their names. That's what it's going to be on their windshield banners. Hey, Mamba, how about our friends at DraftKings? Man, they've done a great job of some odds, and I think do we still got a code?
Look, of course we still got a code. Listen, new customers bet $5, get $150 instantly. Use promo code INSIDE. DraftKings, the crown is yours. And we appreciate them so much because this wouldn't even be possible without that. So
it wouldn't be possible. They're leaning in. And I do think that the point of this is just that, cheer it on and bet it. And now, look, we're not bet what you can afford to lose. If you have $5 is your budget, throw $5 on it. $1 a budget. I mean, if you're like Mamba, you get a big flex with all those trophies. You want to bet a little more? That's okay.
Bet a little more. Or you can be like Russ and, you can just sit back and watch because you're a numbers guy. Yeah. So you don't really get your fingers in deep.
I'm not allowed to bet either. So,
all right, let's have it. It's time to predict. You can't bet, but you can predict. Mamba, who advances each side? Let's have it.
Man, I don't want the Cinderella story to be over, to be honest. My brain tells me John Hunter probably is, but my heart is going Ty Dillon. Like, I just want to see this thing go all the way through and everyone be in awe, and then somehow he wins $1 million, honestly.
Russ?
It's going to be Nemechek versus Reddick at Indy.
Well, I just think it's going to be an impossible championship race for Adam Alexander. So I think it's going to be Ty versus Ty. So he can just keep saying Ty, I mean Dillon. Ty, I mean Gibbs. Ty, I mean. So I want to make it to be a play-by-play man's headache. So I'm voting Ty and Ty just for that reason alone. Just to make
you're already a big headache for him. Like that's not fair. You're adding another layer from him.
Have you guys realized that it's Ty, and Tyler? Like, I mean, we used all the T's. Like, if there was another T in the field, they'd be in the final four too.
3 ties and a guy with 2 first names. I mean, how are you possibly going to get there? There's no way. That's a good thing I'm not a play-by-play guy. I mean, and listen, and if Dale Jr. has anything to do with it, Tyler Reddick could be Ty Reddick because he'll change your first name. I mean, poor Christopher Bell, and all of a sudden it was Christopher
Busher. Yeah, the Busher one. But
matter of fact, I might tell Dale that. We might work Tyler Reddick into Ty Reddick by the time we're done with this.
Also, well, Ty Dillon is really Tyrone Dillon at this point. We've kind of dubbed that. But also, if you look at the battle, this is a short king. This is a short king's bracket now, because 3 out of the 4 of them are under like 5'6", 5'7".
So hey, are you doing intros at Dover?
No, I don't do it. I wish I was.
Just
for the bracket, I wish I was.
Are you doing Indy?
No.
Okay, well then do me a favor on your BR Racing coverage.
Yep.
On the Altcast, I want you to suggest this to the bosses at Turner. Whoever is up against who, you need to wear like the hat of one driver and the shirt of the other. Like your uniform that needs to be like whatever, like, you know, t-shirt of bracket right, hat of bracket left, or something. You know, like if you could figure out how to get 4 things on, I would suggest it this week. But I got hat, t-shirt, jacket, but I don't know like how you're gonna get the 4th. Or you could just get a hat, and every interview you could just be wearing the hat of the driver you're interviewing. I can just tell him you're his favorite, right? You could be like, hey, Ty, you're my favorite. Oh, wait, hold on. And you could just really go back and forth, completely wishy-washy.
Just have them all on the brush. Just have them all on the belt. You know what I mean? So, you know,
that's right.
You just switch
in your fanny pack. You clip on your fanny pack.
Yeah. No, I'm in on that.
All right. Russ has got a road trip. I got some notes to study. My man Mamba has some travel to book. So we all got something where to be. But the place to be is Dover. It's on TNT. Tune in. We have TNT for the straight-up coverage, pre and post during the race as well. And then you have my man Mamba over at the Altcast with our man Larry Mack and Jeff Burton, where now they only got 4 to focus on. Guys, I appreciate it as always.
Thanks, buddy.
Good times are here. NASCAR Inside the Race Bracket Edition. Once again, we'll be back next week to see who has a chance at $1 million.